Mack Sutter has announced a verbal commitment to the Alabama Crimson Tide, joining their 2026 class, choosing Alabama, Ohio State, Illinois, and Ole Miss. Sutter looks to be a perfect fit for the way that the Crimson Tide want to use the tight end position in the future. As always, I'm Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting Managing Editor here at Touchdown Alabama. Be sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Subscribe to the notification bell. Be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. Sutter's a four-star tight end out of Dunlap High School in Illinois. Like I said, he chose the Crimson Tide over a home state program in Illinois. And I think this is something that has been in the works for quite some time now. I think Alabama immediately put themselves in a great position with Sutter when they offered him in April of 2024. They sat him down, got him on campus, showed him the way that they are going to use the tight end position in Tuscaloosa, and pointed out how he could be a perfect fit in that. Alabama wants tight ends who can block, put their hands in the ground, be an extra blocker when they are called upon to do so, but also be a receiving threat. We need athletic tight ends who can play out wide, line up out wide, and make plays, be a mismatch against those smaller defenders, whether they are linebackers, whether they are defensive backs. Also, we need tight ends who can run routes, guys with great mobility and great athleticism, and who can move in space. I think Sutter checks all of those boxes, and I think they told him about all of those boxes and how that could fit into their offense during that visit. After that visit, Sutter told me that Alabama will always play a huge role in this recruitment because they were one of the schools to offer him in person, but also because they sat him down. Alabama's tight end coach Brian Ellis was able to sit him down and say, hey, this is how we're going to use you. Since then, after that, the Crimson Tide have prioritized Sutter, have gotten him on campus multiple times, including for an official visit earlier this month. Alabama tight end coach Brian Ellis has also traveled to see Dunlap at his home. So the Crimson Tide are prioritized this 6'6" tight end. Him choosing to commit to Alabama is just like a product of all the hard work Alabama's coaching staff has put in. But like I said, Sutter's a 6'6" tight end. You're going to see him line up at different spots. For Dunlap, he's going to be a quarterback tight end. He's going to be used as an inline blocker at times, be physical. Whenever I see a kid at the tight end position be used that way at the high school football level, I smile a little bit because those guys are getting the leg up on all those other tight ends who are going to join a collegiate program and they are not used to blocking. And now they have to sit on the sideline for a couple of years because you're going to have to block in most offensive systems as a tight end. So Sutter has that to his advantage. He's a guy with great mobility, not outstanding route running ability, but he's a guy who can run routes, and it can run routes pretty good for a 6'6" guy. You typically don't expect those guys to be great route runners anyway. He can be athletic, be a mismatch, go up and get the football, use that 6'6" frame to his advantage, which you like to see as well. You're going to see him rush from the edge, which is another part of his game that I think he's lucky and fortunate to do for Dunlap, because in my opinion and just based on my experience, guys who rush from the edge typically, when they have experience playing defense, they typically have a little bit more of an edge to them, so that blocking comes even a little bit more easy for those guys. So the Crimson Tide picking up commitment from Sutter is significant for multiple reasons. Him becoming their first tight end commit in his 2026 class. Alabama continues to pick up tight ends just like Sutter, guys who can be receiving threats, guys who can block as well.